And we're live. Alrighty. So let's see. What do we got going on today? Today is, well, first of all, what we got going on is that I'm about an hour late from doing Time Out Tuesday. I wish I could say there was a great reason for it, but the actual reason was that I had to restart my laptop, and then once I restarted my laptop, it needed a software update, and then once I did that software update, I launched the software that I actually run these videos through, and that needed an update, and that just took some time to get the whole thing back up and running. So anyway, here we are. It is episode 104. 104 weeks been coming to you live for Time Out Tuesday. And today I wanted to talk about who's really the best judge of your particular fitness level. And here's the short answer to it. You, nobody else. I think fitness is a very personal thing. I think that whether or not you're in good physical shape is largely dependent on what you think of yourself. But the way I do it is a little bit different, and I figured I would share that with you a little bit. So I look at three things basically when it comes to fitness. I'm going to actually pop them up right here real quick. I look at three things to determine whether or not I am comfortable with my physical fitness. Some of them are not necessarily in this list. Do I feel comfortable with how my clothes fit? Do I feel how I look generally? Things like that, not necessarily in this list. But the first thing I consider, part of physical fitness is medical. I have had every possible test that somebody my age is supposed to have. I've had additional tests and procedures for things that are in my family history to make sure that there's no issues related to family history. I visit a dentist 3 times a year. I go to my dermatologist once a year for a checkup. I have an annual physical. I do all the things that are pretty much recommended. I try to do them on time. And I do that so that we rule out anything that could be sort of invisible, sneak up on me, things that I would rather find out about early and address, because most of the time early is better when it comes to things like this. So one of the things I like to talk about when it comes to medical is that medical and mental are definitely tied together, and a lot of people resist doing certain medical tests, especially when they get to certain ages. There's a lot of anxiety about them. But one of the reasons why I like to get these things done and get them over with is that instead of having anxiety about the test, if all things are equal at the end of the test and we get positive results, the anxiety is gone. And should you ever need to have that same test again, you already know what you're in for. Most of the time, or at least in my experience, the thing that you had to do was nowhere near as bad as you thought it was going to be. It's a nothing burger, and you find out some good information and you get to continue living your life. So medical and mental tied together. Being in good medical shape, I think, is really important, so that you at least know that the things you can't see maybe are not going to kind of surprise you. The second thing is recreational. Am I able to do all the things that I like to do on a regular basis? Can I go camping? Can I go hiking? Can I play any sports that I want to do? Can I go biking? Whatever it is that I like to do, swimming, who knows, whatever it is. Can I do all of those things when I want to do them and without any kind of unreasonable limitation? And then the last thing is work. And now this means something different to all different people. So in my case, my work is very physical. I am teaching 20 classes a week, whether it's in karate or in our fitness kickboxing program. So I've got to be able to either lead the group, keep up with the group, whatever it is, but I've got to be able to do it and feel comfortable about the work. I got to be able to get it done without having to make too many changes to the way I perform my work. Other people have very physical work that if they're not able to lift things, that's going to actually eliminate their ability to do their work. I've had other people that have office jobs tell me that they struggle because throughout the course of the day, they've just got to walk up and down a couple of flights of stairs, and they're constantly getting winded. And that actually represents, in my opinion, a physical fitness condition that's negatively affecting your work. There's other work that I like to do that involves me being physically fit. I like to do work around the house, whether that's fixing up the yard or stacking wood, chopping wood, whatever it is that I like to do. My vegetable garden, things like that. There's certainly some crossover between recreation and work in that regard. But when I'm able to do all of the things that I want to do without physical limitation, then I kind of consider myself to be generally physically fit. If I look how I want to look, if my clothes fit the way I want to fit, and if I'm able to, I'm pointing over here, but I really meant to be pointing over here. If I'm able to accomplish these three things, successfully, then I'm solid. Everybody though has a different gauge for what they consider to be physically fit. And I think that each person really needs to take a look at themselves and decide, am I happy with the way things are going? Am I getting up out of bed in the morning with enormous aches and pains that are not related to the awesome workout that I had last night, but rather because of aging or not using my body on a regular basis? Then you maybe need to assess whether or not you are in fact physically fit. I mean, certainly the medical side of things is you're going to be guided by your doctor, and hopefully you have a good doctor and heed their advice. But my recommendation is to look at these three things, determine whether or not you're satisfied with the way things are going, if you're satisfied with the way you look, if you're satisfied with your weight, if everything is satisfactory to you, then my suggestion is you're probably in pretty good shape. And my suggestion is do a little more. Whatever you're doing, just do a little bit more of it. Try to stay ahead of the aging curve. Aging is going to happen to everybody with any luck at all. And we're going to need to be constantly using it or losing it, as the case may be. And so if you're currently doing a little bit of activity, but you're feeling generally pretty good about yourself, just do a little bit more. Do a little bit more of something that you enjoy doing to get yourself moving a little bit more. If you're having problems, if you have aches and pains, try to seek out the thing that you can do to fix that. Maybe you're having back pains, and maybe you can do something that's related to maybe building up your core or building up your abdominals, and maybe that's going to help make the back pains go away. I actually have had that experience, so I actually do know that it is in fact true. Building up your core, building up your abdominals will make some back issues go away. If you're getting out of breath, you need to build up some cardio a little bit. Start walking a little bit, maybe go for a short jog. You don't have to run a marathon, but try to get yourself moving to the point where you're a little bit out of breath, and then stop. And then tomorrow, do a little bit more if you're able to. Try to change things up a little bit so that you're doing things that you enjoy. You don't necessarily have to commit to a mega physical fitness routine, but there's a lot of ways of doing things at home. You can certainly join a gym. You could try out one of our programs, whether it's fitness, kickboxing, or martial arts, and do it there. But wherever you do it, do something, do anything to try to improve your overall physical fitness and how you feel. I hope everybody takes a little something away from this today and makes themselves stronger and more physically fit in 2020. It's a great time to do it. Everybody knows that. It's resolution time. I hope everyone has a fantastic day today. Peace, everybody.